Alrighty, hey there everyone. We're finally back yet again with some more Minecraft. Last time we got a hold of some netherite, made some plans for our netherite mining tunnels, and made some plans for our base in general. And speaking of plans for our base in general, we're going to go ahead and start tackling those now. That's what today is going to be all about. So, to recap what I had discussed yesterday, I basically want to carve out all the spruce trees within the inner range of the mountain, light up the tips of the mountain ranges, and that's really the big stuff I want to get to for right now, because we're also eventually going to build 4 iron farms up on this layer between where we're standing now and that moss layer, and then 4 mob farms in between the moss layer below that and the top of that moss layer. So that way we can farm a bunch of mob drops at our base while still leaving the inside of our base clear and same deal with the iron. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start cutting all these trees down, and eventually we will have to pop over back into our base and go get a bunch of torches, which we have some that should help, but it won't be nearly enough to cover this wide an area. So, yeah, we're going to be using this whole area for farms and whatnot, so that's what we're aiming for with all of this. And we're gonna just take a second here to clean up some of these water bits that we have floating around. So let's go ahead and grab a torch. Oop. There we go, do something a little simple like that. And we need to do the same thing to the lava fall. But yeah, last time we got a hold of full netherite armor finally after all this time. So I'm working on my tools next, but we're not quite there yet, so we're also a little stuck in powdered snow. That's alright. Hmm. There we go, we'll just throw a dirt block in there, that should block off our lava flow. And that'll do its thing eventually. And yeah, we're basically just trying to cut down all the trees so we can expand our claim into these snowy areas for more farming, because we are pretty freaking condensed in here with what we have, and I think we're just due for more space, so let's also go ahead and stock back up on food real quick, simply because I can. And maybe we should also take a little bit of extra time here to put away some of our extra stuff that we're just not going to use as much right now. Mainly because we're doing a lot of base work at the moment, so we don't really need a whole bunch of these tools in here or nothing. But yep, there is nothing else to do but to sit down and do it, so we're just going to go ahead and start cutting things apart. And yeah, be a good way to get us some extra spruce wood, because we always need more spruce wood for our base and just everything else we do, so that's really the main point of it here. And I'm trying to think of what I actually want to put in this area too, because I am cutting down all these trees, but I don't really have like a larger plan other than, oh yeah, I want more farms in this area. Like, I don't know what kind of farms I want or where I want them or anything of that nature, so I guess I should probably build out farms that I haven't actually built before yet out in this area, just that way I have something. And not like mob farm or iron farms like that. Like, I'm talking like traditional farms like tree farms or bamboo or honey or whatever, which I've already built all those. You know, we've already got crop farms too. We've got pumpkin and melon farms. And I mean, I guess we could do like more natural looking tree farms out in this area, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. I guess there's a bat nearby too, because there's a cave down below. It's good to know. What's up with that? Oh, we'll find out another day. Unless the email verification settings I have are stopping people from typing in chat, but I somehow doubt that, so. Yeah, we should also make sure to pick up some of these extra saplings too, because we're going to need these. Currently on day 333 as well, so we're a third of the way there to day 1000. Which, considering what we've done within only 300-ish days, I'd say we're on a pretty good pace to do some really cool stuff by day 1000, so that'll be fun. Oh, there's a bat. But yeah, we're making some really good progress. I've had a lot of fun with this world so far, and hopefully it'll stay that way. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to go get. We got too much stuff. And I don't want to just like set them on fire or nothing either, because it's not like that much of a time sink to just cut down a couple of trees, so it's not too bad, but you know. And we got 3.5 stacks of logs so far. That's pretty nice. Certainly helps. Especially since we're gonna have to dump so much of it back into our base so we can keep fixing up everything. Fly back this way. Tough. Hey, you got me. Could you please just sit down and die? Damn. Alright, well, I guess he's out here now. The sun's starting to set here. There we go. Let's go pop our bed out real quick. We got a pillager patrol just hanging out here, I guess. Good for them. I'm actually gonna try with my video settings real quick. I'll set the max frame rate to like 120, just out of curiosity. That guy got stuck in a tree. Not bad, I'm in 3, that's solid. It's fine. We still actually need to sit down and use those at some point too, you know. I haven't really been into that trial chamber as often as I guess I should have been by now, so I'll have to take a day at some point to pop in there and see what we can do. And also, damn, we still have quite a lot of trees to get through, it feels like, so we're not done yet. Granted, it's only been like 12 minutes, so for what we've done in 12 minutes, it's actually been pretty solid, but in general, it's quite a lot of stuff. I hope that one day in the future there's like I know it's like a topic everybody's talked about at some point, I'm sure, but like with Enderite, you know, having like a natural progression to Netherite, but I guess the big thing there would be what could Enderite do that would, because it'd have to be significantly tougher to get even compared to Netherite, and Netherite's already fairly tough to get between the upgrade template and just the grind of actually getting it. So what would they have to not only make it a lot more difficult to get a hold of, but also what's the benefit to doing it? You know, like what is so good about the tools and armor that you would want Enderite over Netherite, you know, and just be like, okay, Netherite's good enough, and, you know, I mean, more durability is always one thing, especially for armor, but I think personally, they should have a much better efficiency rate on them to the point where you could insta-mine certain, like, easier blocks that you're always just out of reach of insta-mining with Haste 2, Efficiency 5 at the moment, and you never quite hit, so I think, like, Cobbled Deep Slate is one of those, and, like, you'd have to have some, like, absurd mix of, like, efficiency and haste to be able to insta-mine it, but like an unnatural like mix of efficiency and haste, but there should be, I guess, something that can get you to that point where you could insta-mine combo deep slate with like Enderite, you know? Because that would actually be very nice to have, but... Or maybe they would take it a step back where you have Netherite for most of your day-to-day stuff, and then you have Enderite for a lot of high power, but it's got much lower durability by comparison, like as much durability as like it's like a durability between like a diamond pickaxe and an iron pickaxe, something like that. But in return, when you have efficiency 5 and haste 2, you can insta-mine wood with like an axe, or you could insta-mine deep slate with a pickaxe, things like that. So there's some amount of trade-off that would be there. So it's only meant for like specific trips with it's only meant in like specific context, right? That's the other thing too, because they've kind of drilled wanting to do like sideways progression a bit more. Well, not a progression, but more like it branches a little bit, right? Like the mace doesn't just replace like a sword, and neither does the upcoming spear, because they do different things. And in their context, right, they're really, really good, and they're by far and away the best weapon in their specific context. So you still are incentivized to have like generally solid stuff like with a sword, but if you are willing to take the time and effort to get a mace or a spear that's really well enchanted, then you can fight in a different context that lets you do really good there too. And it should be the same kind of deal with Enderite, where again, like for most day-to-day stuff, you won't really see as much benefit with it. Like it'll be like the base of the same as diamond or netherite in terms of what it does when it's not powered by like a beacon. But when you've got like that extra beacon power and efficiency, then you can hit benchmarks that you just can't with any other tool. And that would be really cool. Although at the same time, I don't know if they would ever let us like insta-mine deep slate, because that would be a little fucked up and broken. So they probably would have to have a more, I guess, severe trade-off than what I'm talking about. But it's still something I'd like to see. Because as it stands now, we're gonna have to insta-mine a lot, or not insta-mine, we have to mine like 1,000,000 deep slate, and we can't insta-mine it. And to put that into perspective, I believe I had mined a bunch of cobblestone, and my other hardcore world, about 100,000 cobblestone. Not regular stone, cobblestone, because I did lava cast to build out a part of my base, and I decided I didn't want them anymore, so I took them out. That 100,000 or so that I mined took about 30 hours. Now, granted, they were on like tall pillars and all this other shit. It's not quite the same one-to-one. Like maybe it's more efficient for like deep slate portion because you can just mine big chunks of them, but it still isn't exactly good. There's a lot of shit to get through. Also, we are filling up on stuff pretty heavily here, so we're gonna have to go put some stuff away at some point, but that's alright. I gotta worry about that for now. But we are cutting out a lot of everything, so we're doing pretty good. Make sure we pick everything up the best we can here. I'm also gonna look into a copper golem like sorter. Like there should be a way that I can basically have a deposit section with like a copper chest, and then it's fed around to different copper golems, and then they can automatically sort all my stuff for me, because that would be really nice. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I can do that, but because I know sorting stuff is eventually going to slow me down pretty bad, so I'll have to work on that at some point, but that's alright, not in a big rush for that. But yeah, Enderite tools should be able to let you insta-mine certain benchmarks that you can't do otherwise. But the trade-off is much lower durability compared to like Netherite or Diamond. And you're only going to see the benefit of them hitting those benchmarks if you have like full setups, At least it's my opinion on it. And again, don't know how the difficulty should look. Or if like finding Enderite should be tied to getting a hold of a specific structure and not like a trial chamber-esque structure, but or if it should be mined for like netherite is. Because if it's just mined for like netherite is, then like there's not really much of a point there, because then you're gonna get it. It's not a matter of you might get it if you're lucky, or if you keep doing it hard enough, it's like you're gonna get it. And I guess it would be kind of fucked up to have something that like you're never gonna get realistically unless you sit there and grind for a really long time because you're just gambling it all, which is exactly what the mace is. So maybe that's actually not too big of a deal. But I don't know. There's got to be some balance to it. Also, it looks threatening as hell. Damn. You can't even see it all the way up to the top. Yeah, big base. Also got a creeper that spawned over there, funnily enough, so good for him, I guess. Cool thing too about Prot 4 Netherite is I should be able to tank a creeper explosion even in hardcore. I'll be left with like a little bit of health, but I should otherwise be fine. Now, if a charge creeper gets me, that's the only thing right now that can just completely one-shot me from full health, is a charge creeper, which, unless you're explicitly dealing with charge creepers, you're never gonna like see one out in the wild realistically. And if you do, you can do the most powerful thing, which is just run away. So, if you really want to like lure it to keep it, then there's easy, consistent ways to at least trap it somewhere in a boat, in a pit. But then you can always come back to it later when it's daytime, and that's the only thing you have to worry about, and you've got like proper blast protection gear against it. Looks like we got a zombie nearby. Damn, it's already 11:30 today. Yesterday felt like quite a long day, which is really nice considering it was a weekend, so hopefully today on Sunday it's feeling like that too, but that has yet to be seen. Really looking forward to that 410 schedule work though. That's going to be very nice for me to just have like an extra whole day off where I don't have to worry about anything. I can just rest and go out and do whatever, Well, with that being said, we are almost done with all the trees. We've got a couple stragglers up here that I'm going to need to go back into my base and go get some leather boots for, but otherwise we got everything else done. And we actually should take a minute to pop over to the trading hall, because I actually want to make some perfect gear that isn't netherite for like more niche situations. Sounds like we got a cave in here. We definitely got a cave in there. Yeah, like I want to make a perfect set of leather boots, and like a gold helmet as well for like piglin stuff. So it'll have, Prat 4 and Breaking 3 and Mending and all the other bits and bobs you could want. And then the leather boots specifically for being able to walk on powdered snow, of course. And then that makes navigating this area a lot easier and a lot safer. So we're going to pop on back to our base real quick, and we'll also take this opportunity to kind of clean out our shulker boxes here and make sure that we've got everything tucked away in our inventory. That'll be good because we are pretty full on wood right now. So we're going to pop on over and go get this done. There we go. All right. Wood section should be over here. Yep, indeed it is. Oh, we've put away a little bit too much, it looks like, so... Oh, whoops. Where... Ah, there they are. I say, where do all my saplings go? Nope, there they go. And we got some ominous 3 bottles, good. They got a nice healthy surplus of torches. Well, healthy enough for now. We're gonna take like a stack of coal blocks. So a stack of coal blocks is 9 stacks of coal with 9 stacks of sticks. It's 36 stacks of torches, which is more than a shulker box of torches. So pretty good. We could do a lot with that. We can take some of this wood that we have and tuck that away in there. And then that'll cover us on our torches when we're ready. And we'll put that back. There we go. And we want 4 bits of leather. There we go. And we want a little bit of gold. 4 gold helmet. There we go. Could also smelt all this at some point too, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. And let's see here. What else? Oh, leather boots. Let's go ahead and craft those up real quick while we're here thinking about it. There we go. Books. Do we have any books? And also emeralds. We're going to take some iron with us. That'll buy us enough books. We should have enough levels otherwise. I'm trying to think of where I had my books because I don't typically get into that section. There we go. I guess we got into it here a little bit. Swift Sneak 2. Nah. Those are all my other enchanted books I don't particularly care about. I guess I don't have any here because I probably left them in the trading hall, if I had to guess, so... Also, take a second to grab our boat again. There we go. And, you know, we'll pop on down real quick. Like so. Oh, right. And we literally just want to go to whichever one was the right one. I think it was this one. I really need to start labeling these by now. Enough time has passed that I've definitely forgotten where everything goes, but we will probably do that today. I mean, we do, to be fair. We do have a bunch of stuff. And I am kind of concerned now that chat isn't chatting at all, because I've not only hidden my overlay, because I completely forgot about that. Those other settings may have screwed me over a little bit, so I may need to double check that a little later, but who knows. Actually, why don't I check that while I'm still thinking about it? Give me a moment. Let's see here. Chat verification. Um, yeah, we could do those realistically. Nope, that should be everything. So that should cover everything chat-wise. So hopefully that'll work. I don't know. We'll find out. Back in the good old trading hall here. I haven't been here in a hot minute. Let's see what we got. Not a lot of iron at the moment, fortunately. But that's alright. Alright, this is when I was saving up for certain pickaxes, so... Yeah, because I had a batch of these I was working on at one point. I remember that. Alright, let's think through what we need here. We need mending, rot 4, unbreaking 3. Yeah, rot 4. Breaking 3. Mending. And feather falling. We don't quite have enough of yet here. But we can fix that real quick. There we go. And I guess Depth Strider, technically, would be another one to get a hold of. But we've actually got a couple of different books we would have to do at some point, so we're not quite done with the trading hall yet. But we were done to a point that I felt happy about what I had, so that was the kind of deal here. Yeah, we're pretty much fine. Yep, so we'll have to go get some more at some point, but for now this will cover us on what we want. Alright, Prot 4 and Mending. Put those together, Prot 4 and Mending. And then Feather Falling 4 and Breaking 3. Prot 4, Mending. We don't have an anvil anymore. Great. Well, luckily we've got some iron on us that we can use to make another anvil. That's a little unfortunate. Just turn both of those. There we go. Alright. Prot 4 Mending, and then we got that. There we go. And that'll be all of our perfect armor that we need for whatever else we want. So we got it now. That's cool. And we got some iron golems spawning now that the villagers can start sleeping again. So we can snag just a little bit of extra iron, because we can. These guys should spawn another golem here really soon. I'm just kind of waiting to physically see that. Yep, there it is. Perfect. That's all good. And I mean, otherwise, we can just head back to base. So yeah, not too bad. believe it was on the other side. It sure was. I'll put that back in there, and we're gonna tuck that there. And then I can just hold on to these for now. Alright, you can see we basically got rid of every single tree up to that point. But doing pretty good. Yep, we've only got that tiny little handful of trees left, and then that'll officially have every tree cleared out near us. And then, I mean, like, we can clear out, like, tiny ones like that too, but realistically, it was just that batch in the back there. And then, otherwise, that's really our main goal for today. Other than lighting. Lighting is another one that we need to take care of real quick. Also need a crafting table to put up here. Something like that. Wow, we are really fucking full on torches, huh? Alright, fair enough. Alright, with that, we have a full shulker box of torches, which is exactly what we want right now. Because we are going to take some time to light up the tips of the mountains. Try and get whatever we can. So, yeah, let's go ahead and pop on our handy dandy elytra. And just go ahead and fly on down. Trying to hit boxes as well, because we're going to need to be able to see here for a little bit. Now, unfortunately, this is not quite a safe landing. There we go. So it begins. Although I will say getting all of this lit up is going to be pretty freaking tough because we have a lot of ground to cover and it's all jagged and just kind of a mess in general to actually get through. So this isn't exactly going to be easy or quick. We do have plenty of torches at least, so that's good. I would have been placing them on walls, dude. Like, come on, I thought I'm placing them on the floor. Apparently not. I guess it doesn't like it when I place it on snow layers. No, it does. It's fine with it. I'm just bad, apparently, but that's alright. Oh, we hit that. What do you know? Ow. That's cool. You may be overdue for a new bow here soon. Damn, missed him 3 times in a row, huh? You have to die, you're too close to shit. Okay, that time it looked like it literally went onto the ground and then snapped upwards onto the side of the block. Awesome and cool. And yeah, this is just gonna take a very long time no matter what we do, so that was on the ground 100%. Come on. Yeah, it's gonna take a long time no matter what we do, so it's best just to enjoy it, you know? Well, I mean, they covered a decent little bit. Not a whole lot, but enough for it to be like, yeah, you know, we got something done. We'll block that off finally. Boy, we can get rid of that waterfall that's going down there. If only I had, gee, I don't know, leather boots. There we go. I guess these spots hardly matter since they're powdered snow and all, but still. Oh, iron, cool. That real quick, there we go. And that's probably enough lighting to keep things covered for right now. So we'll place in just a small little handful of torches. And we'll kind of go along these edges here. Place in a little bit more. There we go. And at least until it's nighttime, that'll have to do it for us for now when it comes to lighting, because I don't know what else needs to be lit up. So, yeah. Got a decent little chunk done. It's the tips of the mountains are going to be the most annoying, but we're working on them bit by bit. And I guess here, realistically, what do we even want to do? I guess we can start by thawing out some of this snow, maybe. That might help a little bit, maybe some of the snow layers. And again, it gives us more lighting, so whatever, right? Go do a little something like that. There we go. We got a wolf hanging out up here. Look at him go. Like, with that snowfall, we've got a little less light to work with, which is perfect, because that'll let me kind of see what we've done so far. Because we'll have to keep working through the night to light everything up, of course. I haven't been saying a lot. There's not a lot to say at the moment, of course, since we're just, putting down torches, so it's easy stuff. It just takes a while is all. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it is. Sun's starting to set here soon. Fairly solid on torches behind the scenes. We haven't even had to dip into the actual shulker box yet, so that's good. And yes, it does look like the sun is starting to set, which is perfect. I'm also trying not to destroy the landscape as much here. That's why I'm trying to take a little bit of extra care to take things down in certain ways and not just break a bunch of shit, Also put our boots on, like our actual boots, in case we come up against any creepers here. We're gonna need them, so. That guy killed himself, dang. Not nice. I think we got some zombies somehow. Impeccable aim, I know. Rude. Just trying to light up my mountain, man. Come on. Being a dick. Guess let's take a quick landing up here and see what we've done so far. Can't hurt to do, right? We've got a pretty good chunk of it lit up all the way around, it looks like. Yeah, so as we start getting to some of the more sloped bits, of course, it gets a little tougher, but for the most part, we've got a lot of the flat bits done, with a couple of exceptions. So hey, not bad. Not bad for what essentially amounts to like a first pass, so... Oh boy. Rude. I do wish it would stop raining though, but that's alright. We can power through it for a little bit. wonder if you can live a creeper explosion with Prot 4 leather boots and everything else, Prot 4 netherite. You probably can. I don't necessarily see why you wouldn't, because you're only losing like a single like armor bar. So it's not too bad. But I haven't exactly had a chance to test that, so who knows? Where? Oh, that's where. Alright, that should be enough lighting for now. Cool. I'm gonna toss some of this crap away. Flip those back on, and we keep the bones, I guess. And for now, I guess we can just carve away all the snow blocks, so that way all the exposed dirt that's under them is out in the air. And then that gives us much more space to work with, and then we can eventually get some grass growing in here, so at least to an extent. Yeah, we're gonna need some dirt. Right. We don't... Oh, we do have a lot. Perfect. I'm about to say we don't have a whole lot, but no, we do. There we go. That'll be plenty for now. And we'll tuck that away. There we go. And otherwise, yeah, everything's pretty well lit up, it looks like. So, other than that section over there, but that's a little different because I think that's powdered snow. Nope, it's not. We just haven't bothered to come over here yet. So, go ahead and get this all lit up while we're here. Might be freezing a little bit. There we go. Put on our leather boots. Trying to think of how I want to do this. Well, let's just start digging for now, and then we'll change things up a little bit later. It would be especially helpful if it wasn't snowing right now, too. Hey, all I had to do was ask. Cool. Alright, well, with the snow gone, then we can go ahead and start chipping away all of these snow blocks. also put down another shelter box, because we are definitely going to need the extra space. Start clearing away this extra snow too while we're at it. With some water. Take the emerald ore. Why not? Well, we broke pretty well into it so far, so that's good. We definitely got a lot more than we started with. Do a little something like that. And otherwise, yeah, we're pretty safe on this front, so that's good. And we just need to keep clearing out the rest of the snow here as much as we can. And unfortunately, there is a lot of it to get through. Just plain and simple, so probably won't get all done today, but we'll at least have like a pretty solid chunk of it all dug out and replaced with dirt and grass. At least that's the idea. I'm trying not to also dig up too much of the dirt because I'm trying to leave the landscape itself relatively intact, just shaving like the top layer off of snow, you know? Just so that way it still looks natural, and then we can always like touch it up from there as needed, but for now, I really just want the snow gone, so... Yeah, same deal. We still got a lot to go to. Once we start getting up to some of the more, I guess, horizontal walls, so mainly we're just going to clear this out, going straight up, and then some of these bits, we're going to leave the powdered snow alone, because that's going to act as kind of like a border that we don't have to really touch. And then as for that side, we can get to that another day, because, there is plenty of stuff to do, so we should be fine for a while. Almost got a shulker box of snow blocks. That's pretty cool, I guess. And we still have a lot of snow to get through. We're getting there. Oh, hey, Monduro, it's been a while. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. I'm just digging out a big chunk of my base for right now, trying to get rid of all this snow, because there is a bit too much snow everywhere. Need more space to grow a bunch of crops and stuff. And there's still more snow. It's the powdered snow too that we want to leave alone partially, because I don't want to mess with it too much. I can always come back to it later with like a bucket of water and like wash it away, but for now I'll leave it be. I don't really need to do a whole lot with it. I really appreciate it. It's nice seeing you again after a while. I haven't exactly been streaming too much in the past week or so, but I'm starting to get back into it again. Just got kind of busy with some stuff IRL, so a lot of tutoring I had to do. I'm probably going to need to plant some grass up here too, because just letting it spread naturally is helping, but there's too many spots for it to try and spread to, so that's alright. I can worry about that later once I've actually cleared out all the snow. But we're making solid progress on, you know? Maybe I'll have another batch of animal pens or something in the back here. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll figure it out. Dang. I'll have to see. I'm created November 8th. Okay, I'll have to adjust those settings there, but that's alright. Get that one out one day, but that's not for me to do today. And we need to go drop this snow back off. In fact, we probably need to make a quick run back to the base here to go clean out these shulker boxes here. Mainly just this one, so take a quick flight over. Alright, let's see here. Snow. Snow, snow, snow. I can't have had it that far away. Where could I put it? I know I had a chest. Oh, it was farther out a little bit. It was over here, because it had all my packed ice. Right. That's what it was. Although, frankly, with the amount that we have, we may need to consolidate a little bit better here. That's alright. We'll get it when we get it. Did the same thing again. There we go. That's better. That'll go ahead and get that shulker box mostly cleaned out. And I guess we can just have the rest of our packed ice down to that level. Just for simplicity's sake. Got a lot more snow than I anticipated, but that's alright. It's not too bad. There we go. And we'll head on back real quick. You can see we're making some pretty good progress. We've only got, I'd say, up until here, realistically, because then it starts getting a little bit too steep and I want to have some amount of snow sloping in, so probably just carve it out to like here. There we go, and then that's the powdered snow section we can't really touch too well. Just flatten everything down to this layer for now, and then we'll come back through at another point in time and actually finish everything up. So go. Get there. Sounds like we still need to find that cave at some point, but that's alright for now. It's already been an hour. Well, we need to put away some more snow. There we go. Right, we're basically done with all the snow now, finally. We've got a little handful left to take out here real quick, but that is the bulk of it that I at least want to cover for today. Right, that finishes up our snow. So with all that taken out, we can kind of go through and take out some of the extra little chunks that we got, and we'll let the grass kind of spread over time. Just that way we got some more grass. We can take out some of the powdered snow that's here. We don't have to just let it all sit here. Yeah, I mean, that covers basically all the snow I really want to get, because once you get past that point, you get a little bit too close to the steeper walls of the mountains, so I'd rather leave that as snow, and then, we can come back through and I guess clean this up here real quick too, but for the most part, this is the main chunk that I really wanted to convert. I guess we'll pass through and clean this up since this is a little bit closer to some of the existing farmland I've got, so start wrapping our way around a little bit more. Yeah, no rush, no pressure to get everything done in one sitting. It's just a matter of getting in there and doing everything, so it doesn't need to all be done today. It's the wrong one. There we go. That's what we wanted. Gotta knock those guys out of the sky real quick, because I can. There we go. And we got another teeny tiny little chunk of snow we gotta clear out here. There we go. And now we should be covered, at least for today. And we got some phantom membranes out of that, which is always nice. Make slow falling potions out of those. See, our grass is slowly but surely starting to spread, but we need to probably supplement that a little bit more, but that's alright. We don't need to do that for today. And I guess just to kind of see where we're at and how we're doing, let's go ahead and pop on up to our base. And yeah, I mean, you can see we've just carved out like a pretty big chunk of dirt out from the snow. You can see kind of how it follows like the shape of the mountain a little bit. I mean, we can get up into that area a little bit more, like we can trim those little bits away and slowly start to trim the rest of it out there. And then probably trim the rest of that away up to a point, but otherwise, like, there's not much farther that we really need to go, I feel. I'd rather leave those as snowy slopes as they're high enough up off the ground that I feel like that's fine. And then everything else is just whatever we want to use it for when we get to that point. So yeah, we got a good extra bit of space now that we can work with. We'll have to start kind of carving some pathing out and about and doing some terracing to split each of these up into larger flat chunks that we can plant on and do some stuff on. But otherwise, that should be pretty much good for now. I don't really have too much of an issue. Of course, we still need to light up everything around the rings of the mountain, but again, that's not a me problem for today, as I simply do not feel like it. We are definitely going to need a bigger chest just for snow, it looks like. Something like that for now, I guess. That should be okay. And for mob drops, did I ever make a spot for Phantom Membrane? It would appear not. I guess we can clear up some of those a little bit. There we go. I don't use too many Phantom Membranes, so that'll be fine. We'll just throw that out there. And let's go put away some of this stone and dirt. We'll take a couple of grass blocks and we'll pop down there real quick and go supplement a little bit, and then we'll call it a day there. So all we literally have to do is go in and place in some grass blocks, kind of just dotted around. This will give more grass for the dirt to spread to, or for grass to spread from to the dirt. And then at some point we'll have a whole bunch of grass up here. We don't have to do like a whole lot, just, the bits we're doing now are more than plenty to really jumpstart this thing into gear, so it should be good. Also a good chance to do a little bit of terraforming with this stuff as well. There we go, so something like that ought to give us enough to work with. I guess we missed a couple of spots in and around here. There we go, we'll do that. There we go, it's a whole stack of grass. That should be plenty to get us started for now. Line up to the tippy top. There we go. Make sure our spawn point is set, and then otherwise, yeah, that's what we got to work with for next time. So yep, you can see we got that whole big old patch there, and again, we have some other bits and bobs we can kind of clear out a little bit more. But that'll give us a lot more space to actually do some farming on, which is great. That's exactly what I need. And then we could do the same thing over there too, to an extent, but honestly I'd rather have that be like snowy bit, so I'll probably leave that be. And otherwise, that is going to do it for me today here on day 339. It's been about 2 hours, and we got a good bit done. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all again next time.